Today's demo leverages generative AI to build upon an existing rules-based Amazon Lex chatbot. So instead of only fulfilling predefined intents through a static decision tree, we are going to use a foundational model, Anthropic Claude hosted on Amazon Bedrock, and proprietary customer data sources on DynamoDB and Kendra to provide a more dynamic experience. The example customer, Octank Financial in this case, has an AWS Amplify hosted website that contains an Amazon Lex embedded chatbot shown by the company logo and corresponding banner, which read, "Hello, welcome to Octank Financial. I am your AI-powered Lex bot. You can ask me things like apply for a loan or which type of mortgage should I use." We'll open the financial services agent's dialog box and increase the size for readability here, and you'll see we're originally prompted for our username. I'll enter a valid username in the form of Kyle Bloxham, and you'll see I'm then asked for my 4-digit PIN. Once authenticated, the user's plan information, in this case a mortgage account summary, is read back to them. We see that this is a mortgage account summary that includes a $520,000 loan at 3.375% interest with $315,000 of unpaid principal. The next payment of $3,000 is scheduled for July 1st, 2023. This information is pulled from a DynamoDB table. So you'll see the financial services agent has access to 3 different tools, one of which is a proprietary store of customer information that's contained within a DynamoDB database. So we can index that information and then provide it to the user. We're then also provided with a response card from Amazon Lex that contains 3 predefined intents: loan application, loan calculator, and Ask Gen AI. We can begin any one of these intent fulfillments by selecting either one of these options by the click of a button, but instead we'll go ahead and use more natural language dialogue to interface with the financial services agent, asking a question like, why should I use Octank Financial? So you saw it can index on DynamoDB to access that customer specific information, but we also have 2 other tools at our disposal through the financial services agent. It can provide general knowledge responses to non-opinionated questions using the Anthropic Claude foundational model hosted on Bedrock, or for more opinionated questions for which Octank Financial wants to have a more specific response, we can use an Amazon Kendra index that is indexing FAQ documents stored within an S3 document repository, and indexing based off of a web crawler configured for octankfinancial.com to provide more opinionated responses to opinionated questions like, why should I use Octank Financial? In this case, the agent provides the response from the Kendra index that shows that Octank Financial offers a wide range of financial services that can benefit individuals and businesses. Some reasons to use Octank Financial include comprehensive financial solutions, expertise and guidance, convenience and accessibility, competitive rates and fees, trust and reliability. There's some additional benefits. Overall, using Octank Financial can provide you with the convenience, expertise, and comprehensive financial solutions you need to effectively manage your finances. And we see 3 sources that were used to provide that answer: octankfinancial.com, and then 2 additional subpaths for services and about us from that octankfinancial.com website. These are pulled from Amazon Kendra, as Amazon Kendra is configured with a web crawler for octankfinancial.com. We see that same response card, but rather than fulfilling one of those intents, I'm going to continue through my natural language dialogue, and I'll ask a question like, how competitive are their rates? Now, the financial services agent has the ability to index on previous chat history. So when I ask a question like, how competitive are their rates, the agent is aware that I'm asking about Octank Financial. So we see a response that includes, Octank Financial strives to offer competitive rates for their products and services, potentially saving you money compared to other financial institutions. However, specific rates may vary depending on the product and service you're interested in. It is always recommended to contact Octank Financial directly or visit their website to get the most up-to-date information on their rates. So these are 2 examples where we've used the Kendra index to provide more of an opinionated customer-specific response. But we can also provide more general knowledge responses. So if a customer asks a question like, which type of mortgage should I use? And Octank Financial does not care to provide an opinionated response to the type of mortgage that the customer should use. Rather, they'd like to educate the customer. Well, then we can use the Anthropic Claude foundational model to provide more of a general knowledge response based off of the corpus of data that was used to pre-train the foundational model. So in this case, Anthropic Claude's response for the model hosted on Bedrock includes that the type of mortgage you should use depends on your individual financial situation and goals. Some common types of mortgages include fixed rate, adjustable rate, FHA loans, VA loans, and jumbo loans. It is important to consider factors such as your credit score, your income, down payment amount, and desired loan term when choosing a mortgage. It may be beneficial to consult with a mortgage lender or financial advisor who can provide personalized guidance based on your specific needs. You'll notice the sources in this case are not specific to Octane Financial because we didn't use that Kendra index to fulfill this question. We instead, the financial services agent, used part of the corpus of data that was used to pre-train the Anthropic Claude model to provide its response, in this case creditkarma.com and bankrate.com. To further emphasize the agent's ability to ask or to answer general knowledge questions, we can ask a very general question that's not financial services related. For example, how do I make a sandwich? So again, in the same vein, the financial services agent is going to use the Anthropic Claude model hosted on Amazon Bedrock to provide a general knowledge response. This is intended to educate the customer, right? We don't want to provide an opinionated response that's more geared towards any Octane Financial specific service or specific response that would be contained within that Kendra index. Instead, we're using the foundational model to provide the response that tells the customer that to make a sandwich, they should follow this 10-step process, right? They need to gather their ingredients, toast the bread if desired, lay out the bread, spread the condiments, choose the fillings, and so on, so they complete the 10-step process. And we see the two sources that were used to create this 10-step bread making or sandwich making process, were the spruceeats.com and foodnetwork.com. We're then offered this same response card for the predefined intents if we want to fulfill any one of these. And so we'll go ahead and do that now, selecting the loan application intent. The financial services agent now needs to gather some more specific information from the user in order to fulfill the intent. So the first piece of information the agent is asking for is the desired loan amount. We'll say we need a loan amount for the value of $650,000. We're then asked about our monthly income. We'll say we make $11,000 a month. We do have a 2-year continuous work history, and then we're asked for our credit score. If we were using a static decision tree oriented bot, we may be forced to answer this question, right? We need to provide a numerical value. Otherwise, if we ask a question back to the agent, we may see ourselves into a continuous loop, or we may just not see a valid response. This agent, however, is empowered through the dynamic capabilities of the foundational model on its backend. So I can ask a question like, how do I find my credit score? And if Octane Financial in this case had a credit-oriented service, they could provide a more opinionated response through Kendra. But in this case, we don't. So we're going to index on the foundational model, Anthropic Claude hosted on Bedrock, to provide a more general knowledge response. In this case, the financial services agent does not care to offer an opinionated response that's geared towards an Octane Financial specific offering. So we instead use the general knowledge answer formed from the Anthropic Claude foundational model hosted on Bedrock. To provide the response that define your credit score, you can use one of the following methods. You can check with your financial institution, you can use a credit monitoring service, or you can request your credit report. Remember that your credit score can vary slightly between different credit reporting agencies and lenders. It's a good idea to review your credit score regularly to ensure its accuracy and monitor any changes that may affect your credit worthiness. And the 3 sources used to provide that answer through the Anthropic Claude foundation model hosted on Bedrock are Experian, TransUnion, and annualcreditreport.com. Finally, the agent asks us at the end of its response, what do you think your current credit score is? Assuming that we went and determined our credit score and found the value to be 775, we'll go ahead and enter that number. We're then asked, how much are you paying for housing each month? We'll say we're spending about $3,000 on housing each month. Our estimated loan amount is, our estimated debt amount is 0. What do you have saved for a down payment? We'll say $45,000. We have no co-borrower, and we're looking to close next week. We're asked to confirm that we'd like to fulfill the intent of submitting a loan application at 0 cost to the user, so we'll enter yes. And what we've just done is we've used conversational flow to complete a user workflow or business transaction. In this case, a simple loan or mortgage application form that's rendered to the user in the form of a pre-signed S3 URL. So I can select this pre-signed S3 URL and download the document. I'll go ahead and open this in a new tab. And you can see that the user provided information that was just provided in the form of just natural conversational flow is used to fulfill the Octane financial mortgage application with the username Kyle Bloxham, monthly net income of $11,000, credit score of 775, $650,000 for the requested loan amount, and $45,000 as the down payment. The architecture that was used to support the financial services agent allows customers to interact with the agent over chat, SMS, or voice channels, where the Amazon Lex embedded chatbot, again, sits within an AWS Amplify hosted website for octanefinancial.com. Each of the user requests that come to the bot are then processed through an AWS Lambda handler that possesses the financial services agent logic that allows it to index on the multiple different tools that it has on its back end. A DynamoDB table that contains customer-specific information, an Anthropic Claude foundational model hosted on Amazon Bedrock for more general knowledge responses, and an Amazon Kendra index that's based off of a S3 repository of FAQ documents and a web crawler configured for octanefinancial.com. On the bottom here, you see two additional channels that can be used for customers to interact with the bot. If you want to use interactive voice response or IVR capabilities within Connect, that same bot can power those capabilities within a Connect call center. Or you can use Slack integrations to be able to have that same Amazon Lex powered chatbot to be able to fulfill intents within a Slack channel. The financial services agent itself is empowered using LangChain as our interface to multiple different libraries that help us interface with the foundational model, Anthropic Claude on the back end. So every customer question comes in over either one of these three channels and is processed by the agent that's implemented through that Lambda handler. Each question gets vectorized using a LangChain library to take that question and turn it into a numbered representation of that question. So we can map that against our contextual chat history. So every question vector gets mapped against its k-nearest neighbors within a DynamoDB vector database, so we can pull the relevant chat history and include that into our prompt for the foundational model. The agent then conducts what we call chain of thought reasoning that allows it to ask itself a series of questions to determine, do I need to make access of additional tools and different tools on my backend to create a holistic response that I can then send back to the user. Based off the nature of the question, we determine, do we want to provide a general response through Anthropic Claude for more of a general knowledge response, or do we want to provide a customer-specific response using the Amazon Kendra index, or a combination of the two? That answer is then provided back to the user through the same channel that they originally decided to interact with the agent upon. And that's all we have for the demo. Thank you for watching.